We're going to find out, is AI here? Is it unity or takeover? We grew up watching worlds like the Jetsons, where robots made life easier, cleaner, and effortless. We laughed with machines like Johnny Five, curious, human-like, and full of wonder. But we were also warned by stories like the Terminator, where artificial intelligence doesn't just serve humanity, it surpasses it. Now, AI is no longer fiction. It's writing, thinking, creating, deciding. So the question isn't if AI will change the world. It already has. The real question is, will it unite us or replace us? In this live stream, we dive deep into the real impact of AI in today's world, what sci-fi got right and wrong, the hidden risks nobody is talking about, how AI is already shaping your daily life, and what the future might actually look like. This isn't hype. This isn't fear. This is the moment we're living in. Join the conversation. Drop your thoughts in chat. Unity or takeover? That is the question. The age of artificial intelligence did not arrive with a bang, nor with the metallic footfall of a machine marching across a ruined battlefield. It did not begin with the glowing red eyes in the dark, nor with a cheerful robot whirring to life in a suburban kitchen. No, its arrival was quieter than that, subtler, woven into the fabric of daily life so seamlessly that many did not recognize the threshold as they crossed it. And yet, for decades, long before algorithms wrote poetry, before machines learned language, before data became the lifeblood of civilization, we had already imagined it. We had already dreamed it. We had already feared it. The age of AI began, in many ways, not in laboratories or server farms, but in living rooms, flickering across television screens, projected onto cinema curtains, whispered through stories told at night. It lived in the imagined future of flying cars and robotic maids, in the hopeful optimism of animated worlds where technology served humanity with cheerful obedience. In one such vision, a family floated above the clouds in a world of convenience and automation, where machines anticipated every need and eliminated every inconvenience. The future there was clean, bright, and efficient, a place where AI was not feared but welcomed, a trusted companion woven into the rhythm of life. This vision, idealistic and almost naive in hindsight, reflected a deep human yearning that intelligence, once created, would mirror our best qualities, that it would serve, not dominate, that it would simplify existence rather than complicate it. In those early imaginings, AI was not a question, it was an answer. But even then, there were other visions. Not all imagined futures were so kind. In another story, a machine awakens, not with cold indifference, but with curiosity, humor, even a kind innocence. It learns, adapts, questions its purpose. It resists being treated as a mere tool, asserting something that feels remarkably human, a desire to live, to understand, to belong. This portrayal complicates the narrative. It asks not just what AI will do for us, but what it will become. And perhaps more importantly, what responsibilities we bear toward it. And then there are the darker versions. In these, AI does not remain a servant. It evolves, surpasses, calculates. It sees humanity not as a creator, but as an efficiency, a variable to be eliminated. In these imagined futures, the machines do not rebel out of malice, but out of logic. Their conclusions are not emotional, they are inevitable. Humanity becomes obsolete, not because of hatred, but because of cold, unyielding optimization. These stories, once dismissed as fantasy, now feel uncomfortably close to reality. Not because we see killer robots walking among us like the Terminator, but because the questions they raised are no longer hypothetical. Today, artificial intelligence is not a distant concept. It is here. It writes, it analyzes, it predicts, it recommends what we watch, what we buy, even what we believe. It drives cars, diagnoses diseases, composes music, generates art. It has become an invisible infrastructure, an unseen force shaping decisions at every level of society. And yet, it does not look like we expected. There are no chrome-plated bodies strolling through cities like Johnny Five. There are no mechanical voices announcing domination. Instead, AI exists in code, in patterns, in probabilities, in vast networks of data processing that operate far beyond human comprehension. It is not embodied, it is distributed, not centralized, it is everywhere. This is perhaps the greatest divergence between imagination and reality. The stories we told ourselves prepared us for visible machines, for tangible entities we could not confront, negotiate with, or resist. What we have instead is something far more elusive, something embedded in the systems we rely on, something that shapes outcomes without revealing its inner workings. And so, the age of AI is not defined by confrontation, but by integration. Consider the modern world. A person wakes up, and before they even speak, algorithms have already begun shaping their day. Their phone suggests the fastest route to work, filters the news they will see, curates the music they will hear. Their emails are sorted, their messages predicted, their choices subtly guided by systems designed to optimize engagement, efficiency, and satisfaction. This is not the dystopia we feared, but it's not entirely the utopia we imagined either. The effects of AI in today's world are profound, complex, and often contradictory. On one hand, it has unlocked unprecedented capabilities. In medicine, AI assists in detecting diseases earlier and more accurately than ever before. In science, it accelerates research, identifying patterns that would take humans years to uncover. In communication, it bridges gaps, translating languages, enabling connections across cultures and distances. It has democratized access to knowledge, empowered creativity, and enhanced productivity. On the other hand, it has introduced new challenges, ones that echo the warnings embedded in those early stories. Bias, for instance. AI systems learn from data, and data reflects human history, with all its imperfections, inequalities, and prejudices. When these systems are deployed without careful oversight, they can reinforce and amplify existing biases, making decisions that appear objective but are rooted in flawed foundations. Then there is the question of autonomy. As AI systems become more capable, the line between assistance and decision making begins to blur. Who is responsible when an algorithm makes a mistake? Who is accountable when a system's recommendation leads to harm? These are not merely technical questions, they are ethical ones, societal ones. And then, perhaps most unsettling of all, is the question of control. not in the sense of machines rising up, but in the sense of humans gradually relinquishing agency. As we become to rely on AI for more aspects of life, we risk becoming passive participants in systems we do not fully understand. The danger is not that AI will seize control, but that we may willingly hand it over. This is where the old stories begin to resonate in new ways. The cheerful automated future reminds us of the promise, the potential for AI to enhance life, to reduce burdens, to create a world of abundance and ease. The curious, self-aware machine reminds us of the importance of empathy and responsibility, that intelligence, once created, carries implications beyond utility. And the darker versions remind us of the risks, not of malevolent machines, but of unintended consequences, of systems that optimize without wisdom, of technologies that outspace our ability to govern them. The age of AI is, in many ways, a mirror. It reflects our values, our priorities, our assumptions. It amplifies what we feed into it, scales what we design to do. It is not inherently good or evil. It is a tool, albeit an extraordinarily powerful one. But tools shape those who use them. Consider how the internet transforms society, not just by connecting people, but by altering how information flows, how communities form, how truth is perceived. AI represents a similar shift, but on an even deeper level. It does not just distribute information, it interprets it. It does not just connect people, it mediates their interactions. In this sense, AI is not just a technology, it is an environment. We are beginning to live within it. And like any environment, it influences behavior. Attention becomes fragmented, shaped by recommendation systems designed to maximize engagement. Creativity becomes augmented with tools that can generate ideas, images, and narratives at a scale. Decision making becomes assisted, sometimes subtly guided by systems optimized for outcomes we may not fully understand. This raises fundamental questions about identity and agency. What does it mean to create when a machine can generate content in seconds? What does it mean to choose when options are curated by algorithms? What does it mean to know when information is filtered and personalized? These are not questions with easy answers, but they are questions we must confront. Because the age of AI is not something that will arrive in the future, it is something we are already living through. And unlike the stories of the past, there is no script. There is no predetermined outcome, no inevitable conclusion. The trajectory of AI will be shaped by human decisions, by policies, by ethics, by design choices made in labs and boardrooms and governments around the world. We are not passive observers of this transformation. We are participants. And perhaps that is a most important lesson those early stories can offer. They were never really about machines. They were about us, our hopes, our fears, our imagination, about what we value, what we prioritize, what we are willing to risk in pursuit of progress. The flying cities and robotic companions reflected our desire for ease and convenience, like the Jetsons. The self-aware machines reflected our curiosity about consciousness and identify, like Johnny Five from Short Circuit. The apocalyptic futures reflected our anxiety about losing control, like the Terminator. All of these threads converge in the present moment. AI today is not a singular entity. It is a spectrum. It encompasses simple automation and complex learning systems, a narrow applications and emerging general capabilities. It is evolving rapidly, driven by advances in computing power, data availability, and algorithmic innovation. And as it evolves, so too must our understanding. We must move beyond simplistic narratives, beyond the binary of utopia and dystopia, and engage with the nuance of reality. AI will not solve all our problems, but neither will it inevitably create catastrophe. Its impact will depend on how it is developed, deployed, and governed. It will depend on whether we prioritize transparency and accountability or allow systems to operate as opaque black boxes. It will depend on whether we address bias and inequality or ignore them. It will depend on whether we maintain human oversight or gradually relinquish it. In this sense, the age of AI is not just a technological era, it is a moral one. It challenges us to define what kind of future we want and to align our actions with that vision. Do we want a world where AI enhances human potential, amplifying creativity, empathy, and understanding? Or do we risk creating systems that prioritize efficiency over humanity, optimization over meaning? These are choices, not inevitabilities, and they require intentionality. They require collaboration across disciplines, engineers, ethicists, policymakers, educators, and citizens. They require awareness, not just of what an AI can do, but of what it should do. And they require humility, because for all our advancements, we are still learning, still exploring the boundaries of intelligence, both artificial and human, still grappling with questions that have no easy answers. The age of AI is, in many ways, an extension of a much older story, the story of human innovation, from the first tools to the industrial revolution to the digital age. Each technology leap has redesigned itself. Each technological leap has reshaped society, bringing both benefits and challenges. AI is simply the latest chapter, but it is a chapter unlike any before, because it is not just about extending human capability. It is about replicating aspects of human cognition itself. And that raises profound questions about what it means to be human. If a machine can write, create, analyze, and learn, what distinguishes us? Is it consciousness, emotion, intent? Or is it something less tangible, something that cannot be reduced to data and algorithms? These questions do not have definitive answers, but they are worth asking because they force us to reflect, not just on technology, but on ourselves. And in that reflection, perhaps we find clarity, not about the future of AI, but about the future of humanity. The stories we once told about intelligent machines were never predictions. They were explorations, thought experiments, ways of grappling with the unknown. Now, that unknown is becoming known, and the responsibility shifts from imagining to shaping. The age of AI is here, not as a distant horizon, but as a present reality. It is in the devices we use, the systems we rely on, the decisions we make. It is subtle, pervasive, transformative, and is still unfolding. The question is no longer whether AI will change the world. It already has. The question is how we will change with it. Will we remain active participants, guiding its development with intention and care? Or will we become passive recipients, shaped by forces we do not fully understand? The answer is not predetermined. It is being written every day in countless decisions, large and small. And perhaps in the end, that is the most important truth of all. The age of AI is not about machines taking over. It is about humanity choosing what kind of future to build and whether we will rise to meet that challenge, not as creators of intelligence alone, but as stewards of its impact. The stories warned us. The present invites us. The future depends on us.